More Heart Than Talent Radio.
Jeffery Combs, president and founder, Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated, Facebook Live. Here we are, a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Today would be the 15th, 16th, 17th, Tuesday, September 17th, halfway through the month of September 2019. Welcome to Facebook Live today. I'm going to do a little clean of my glasses as we get started here today. I see you are coming on. I was scheduled to do an event in Saddlebrook, New Jersey this Saturday. I have moved that event to Saturday, November 2nd. Reason being, the San Francisco airport, the FAA has closed down 2 runways. So there is no telling what time you will leave and what time you'll get back. So as of September 28th, supposedly that construction will be over. On October 5th, I will be going to Seattle, Washington. I'll be a keynote speaker at an event that my exceptional client, Amanda Bobbitt, is hosting. That is a private event. I know that I'll see Marina Joy at that event. So Marina, good to see you. TC Bradley, good to see you on today's Facebook Live. TC, I'll be giving you a call to book you for one of the keynote spots at the Protégé Writer Speakers Workshop. What is the Protégé Writer Speakers Workshop? It's an advanced event for my coaching clients only. It's not an event that I sell outside of my coaching. So my coaching is a very cultured group of clients that I've coached over a 22-year period. For those of you who have never experienced my coaching, it comes with a free Breakthroughs to Success. That used to be a $1,000 standalone product. From 2011 on, I've given that free with one-on-one coaching. It cannot be explained, it must be experienced. For those of you who are on the line, I see Don McNamara would be able to explain it. There will be a few of you who have experienced that event before. So it comes free with coaching. There's a Breakthroughs to Success event in December that is free with coaching. Protégé Writer Speakers Workshop is a very, very advanced event with quantum healing, speakers that focus on sometimes the agenda, the world order, control, a lot of really, really interesting topics, internet marketing, and then of course letting go. And then all the topics that I cover on all my Facebook Lives are relevant and have deep meaning into the cause that creates the effect of why we do what we do, so that we can separate our feelings from the events that shape them. And when you and I are no longer the mind-body connection to those events, then it frees us up consciously. Now, many of my clients say to me, what does that look like? I said, write content. Well, a large percent of society has challenges writing content because of how overwhelmed, how anxious, how much fear, how much doubt, and how much self-judgment and criticism they have of themselves, which keeps them from sitting at the keyboard and writing on command. And I spend a lot of my time coaching my clients on the let go process. The mechanism of letting go is the ability to separate a feeling from an event. But if you live in your analytical, egoic mind like most of society does, and you'll continue to go, how do I? And letting go is not a how do I. Letting go is an I am state of awareness. It's a recovery sobriety state where I am aware. I accept who I am and what I'm doing. I'm able to accept that in a state of metacognition where I'm able to be an objective observer, understanding why I do what I do. That's the breakthrough that you seek. Because if not, you'll perpetuate the same set of feelings over and over. Now, the host of my event in Seattle, Amanda Bobbitt, multiple six-figure income earner in multiple business ventures, but she's able to focus. She's one of these rare people that can have 1, 2, or 3 businesses concurrently because she's very organized, detailed, methodical, structured, and has a great command emotionally of how to be able to create results and live in the solution. Now, if that becomes you, then you'll become a multiple 6- and 7-figure income earner in free enterprise in a very relaxed body where you're not overwhelmed. But if you're overwhelmed, you'll never be able to get off the dime. And that's what you'll do. You'll trip over dimes rather than picking up the thousands that you're capable of picking up. As you're able to move into awareness, understanding, knowing, and then trust, that opens the portal for the people you're looking for to find you. That opens the opportunity to show up on your doorstep that you've been looking for. Now, my friend TC Bradley is on this call today. Now, TC and I have become friends after he placed an ad in the USA Today in 1996. I answered that ad. I became the person he was looking for in a brand new business venture. I became a 7-figure income earner. He became a multiple 6-figure income earner in that business and later went on to become a 7-figure income earner himself. And he takes authors to best-selling status in Amazon. Now, TC and I met on a phone call in 1996. I mean, it was virtually the science of attraction. I was $100,000 in debt. He was a relatively new entrepreneur in a new venture. We meet. He becomes my upline in that company. He and I see the great David Icke speak 8 times over the next 2.5 years. I mean, we saw Ed Griffin speak. We saw Ron Paul speak at this event. I mean, this is very, very deep content, not only for 2019, but this was 1997 and 1998 when we were seeing this type of enlightenment. And when you really are ready for that type of enlightenment, it's like when the pupil is ready, then the universe will reward you. But until you are actually ready and in an action phase in creativity and innovation, then you will continue to perpetuate a set of feelings that keeps you overwhelmed. Now, today's topic is very apropos for what I'm covering, the psychology of commitment. Now, if you're not committed, you're interested. And when you're committed, you're committed. There is no option when you are committed. I own a business, I'm committed. And I mean, nothing's going to stop me. A health challenge or any situation like this, I will overcome it. I mean, I'm committed. So just like the airport is a challenge, but I'll just move the event to another date. I'm committed. I mean, that's the solution. That's the result. When you live in the solution, then you don't live in the problem. But when you live in the problem, you perpetuate your anxiety, fear, and doubt. I was coaching a client recently who told me he was afraid to buy a house because if he bought the house, then the market might change and the house would drop below the market value. Unfortunately, this is what many people do. They validate, justify, and explain themselves out of an opportunity because they're a pessimist, not an optimist. And a pessimist means your ego will find flaws. Now, being pessimistic does not mean you're a bad human being, but it means that your ego, who wants to continue to self-suffer, will find ways to talk you out of your brilliance. And for you to be creative and innovative, it's going to require you to let go, separate your feelings from the events that shape them. So on the topic of commitment, here are the 7 points I lined out for this. Now, I wrote this in about 5 minutes 3 weeks ago. I'm always 2 weeks ahead or 3 weeks ahead on my Facebook Live. So I have my Facebook Lives prepared for 3 weeks, and I have a system that I do that every single Sunday. That's what's a method, system, a routine, and that means I have structure and a system. But if you don't have a system to succeed, then you'll be winging it to failure. And unfortunately, that's a large percent of society. So when someone says, oh, wow, you're so organized, you're obsessive and compulsive, you're neurotic. No, actually, I'm wealthy. And I'm wealthy because I have a system, routine, and a practical application of doing the same thing over and over. Isn't that boring? No, that's a routine. That's what keeps me in the game. That's what allows the moving parts to keep moving. That's what takes me to the land of paradise rather than the land of desperation. Now, I've lived in the land of desperation before. I've been $100,000 in credit card debt, $1.5 million in real estate debt. I've been divorced twice. I've been through challenges. I was an addict, alcoholic, homeless, incarcerated, DUIs, public intoxication, and drug arrest. I mean, I have a laundry list of discretions that aren't pretty, but I've also made peace with that. And in that peace, that means that's acceptance and forgiveness. And acceptance and forgiveness will allow you to move into commitment. But when you continue to not accept who you are, what you've done, then you'll stay critical of yourself. When you can accept what you've done and forgive yourself and then forgive others, now you can move into consciousness. Until you're able to do that, you're back here going, oh, you have no idea. I'm so overwhelmed. I can't do this. I can't do that. How do I? And to really move into higher levels of consciousness is beyond how do I. Instead of continuing to how do I self your debt to death, move into a state of creativity and innovation. Write a freaking post today. Write it from creativity. People ask me how to write a post. You write a post by sitting down and composing one. You write about your own life experiences. You look at someone else's post and you write something similar without plagiarizing it. You take someone's idea and then you make it your own. I mean, you do this from innovation and creativity and you let go. Now, if you're on this Facebook Live today and you've considered hiring me to be your coach, well, stop considering it and do it. I mean, but if you use money as your excuse, then money will be someone else's excuse. When you're able to let go, I mean, really let go, and you're able to look at money as a means of prosperity, and money as a means of an investment rather than a liability. And when you move out of liability debt and move into asset debt, or when you move into attracting money, when you move into creating resources, when you move into responsibility, the ability to respond, when you move into a different set of reflexes, you're committed. Until you're committed, you're interested. In a gray world, this is black and white, and this is the black and white. You can't win unless you commit, and you can't play unless you commit. You cannot move forward unless you commit. You can't let go unless you commit. I mean, commitment is the choice. I mean, it is the absolute answer. It is finality. When you are committed, you are committed. When you're committed, there's no failure. But when you're worried about failure, it means you're not committed. That's what so many people do, is they have a backdoor method. They have 2 or 3 businesses. I coached a woman yesterday about the same situation. She's not having any success in anything, but she has 2 businesses and she can't decide. This is how many people are. By not being able to decide, it keeps you commitment phobic. And that's what so many people are. They're commitment phobic. And when you're commitment phobic, it means you're more focused on failing than you are succeeding. When your energy is devoted to success, when your energy is devoted to sobriety and recovery, that is success. Because until you're emotionally sober, you'll be emotionally intoxicated. Until you're committed, you're not committed. See, this is the duality, and life is gray. It's not always black and white, but this one's right down the middle, baby, because you're either committed or you're not. And when you understand that, then you will let go of this anxiety and these stories you tell yourself. Whether you're a real estate investor, a network marketer, a mortgage broker, you're a coach, or you're an intellectual brander, or you're a arbitrage marketer, whatever it is you're selling, branding and marketing, until you're committed, you're interested. Until you're responsible, you're irresponsible. Until you're sober, you're an addict. I mean, this is the dualities of commitment. And when you're committed, then your law of alignment changes. When you're committed, your gravitational pull changes. The undertow that happens underneath moves you up and elevates you from anxiety, fear, and doubt. It moves you up into the gap in a place called courage. Once you have courage, that's an elevated step that you grab onto the next rung on the emotional chain, and that is called consciousness. And when you anchor yourself with consciousness with your left hand, you can grab with your right hand. And when you're that small dog with a big bite, now I like Jack Russells. A Jack Russell locks on things. It has a whole different set of canines. When that Jack Russell locks on something, it's like this. It's there. It's not letting go. Now, when you're committed to success, then you're in it. But when you're out of it, you're not in it. And when you're in it, that's commitment. Commitment isn't how do I. I mean, that's the analytical egoic brain that keeps taking you to a scrambled brain state. And that's what so many people do, is they stay overwhelmed. You can't be conscious in being overwhelmed. And when you are conscious, you're here and you're now. And when you're here and you're now, that's the present. When you're present, you can hear, you can listen. When you move out of how do I, then you can learn the skills required to be successful. What hinders so many people is they aren't fast enough emotionally to be able to succeed. They have gaps and delays in their communication style. It's like this, rather than being like this, rather than being in it, like this, boom, like in, out, in, out. I'm in today, I'm out today. I'm in today, I'm out today. I'm in the morning, I'm out in the afternoon. How do I? Yeah, but don't you think? Success doesn't acknowledge yeah, but. Consciousness does not acknowledge what if. And I've had people say to me, yeah, but what if? There is no what if. When you're committed, there is no what ifing. When you're committed, you're committed. You're focused on the commitment. So when you're committed, your gravitational pull, your focus is narrowed. But when you're not committed, your focus is wide, and you see all these things going on over here. And your ego looks for peripheral situations to distract yourself. Shiny objects, shiny men, shiny women, shiny things, and this and that. And then you get focused, and then you'll buy them with debt and do dumb shit that keeps you doing the same thing over and over. But when you're committed, the focus narrows. So it's like this. So the vanishing point's right out in front of you. It's right out there. And then right in front of you is the present. You look down, you look up, and you have a short field of focus, and you're not looking over here. Your field of focus is right here. So when I finish this Facebook Live today, I have a prospecting call. When I finish the prospecting call, I'm coaching from 2 to 9 tonight. Many people go, oh my God, dude, that sounds like a lot of work. Actually, it sounds like a business. And it's a business that I've owned for 22 years, and I'm focused on it. And I'm focused on retirement. Retirement for me is 7 years from now. And I have a clearly defined goal of how much money I will have accrued over a lifetime that will pay me a dividend so that I can focus on the next phase of my life, which is a different level of enjoyment. My business brings me great joy, but I also will experience great joy when I don't own a business, because my business does not own me. I devote a lot of time to it for a specific reason, specific goals, so I can have assets that will reward me in retirement. And when you're clear when you have clarity, that's commitment. When you have a vision of the outcome you know that you will create, that is a vision. When the law of alignment is in your favor, then situations become favorable. When the law of alignment is not in your favor, then situations will happen to you that make you wonder, how did this happen to me? Why did this happen to me? I don't know, understand. This is what so many people do. When you're focused, you are focused. Now here's the 9 points of commitment. First of all, point number 1 was committing and deciding. What does that mean? It means that you're commitment conscious, that you're able to create a decision. You don't make a decision. That's a force. That you are decisive. So decisive is a consciousness, and commitment and decision are synonymous, that they are one with. So I'm commitment conscious. I'm able to decide easily and effortlessly. It means you don't vacillate, think, process, analyze, worrying about making mistakes. It means you know. It means that you know, and you don't have to explain what you know, because you know. When you know, you know. When someone goes, how'd you know? I know. Well, I don't understand. How'd you know? You don't have to understand, because I'm the only one who understands. I know. And when you're able to neutralize that in your humility, you can't be humiliated. So self-esteem and consciousness cannot be rejected, because consciousness does not access rejection or abandonment. But when you're uncertain, you'll feel rejected. When you're uncertain, you'll reject yourself. When you're uncertain, you'll criticize yourself. When you are certain, criticism doesn't enter your consciousness, because you're so focused on a result that if you don't receive the result, you're able to effortlessly and easily let go and move right back in to being and staying committed, because you are focused on the outcome that is favorable to you. Most people focus on what's not favorable, meaning they focus on what they don't want to have happen, then it happens, and they wonder how it happened. And that's what worry does. Worry attracts to your reality the very situation you seek to avoid to fulfill your disappointment. Then you can say, this always happens to me. Point number 2, committing is power, avoiding is force. When you avoid, you're forcing yourself. Oh, I have to do this. I have to. Oh, I don't know how. I'm going to make that's force. When you're committed, it's a relaxed energy. When you're in force, it's a very frantic, anxiety-ridden energy driven by indecision based on past events where you've made mistakes that you hold on to, which creates mistake consciousness. And if you were a mistake, you were an accident, and that gets drilled into your consciousness, or you made a lot of mistakes and it got showcased, or any mistake got showcased, you can easily become mistake consciousness as an adult, and then you worry about making mistakes. And when you're able to easily and effortlessly let go, then you're no longer the mind-body connection to being mistake conscious. Now I see my exceptional friend Jennifer Corliss Trinkner has joined me here on Facebook Live. I had the privilege of coaching Jennifer in 2011. She hired me relatively new in her enterprise, and I had this distinction and had the opportunity to coach Jennifer for 4 years while she became a 7-figure income earner. I've been in her house outside of Columbia, South Carolina. I've watched the empire she's created, the people she's mentored. And if she could do it, you could do it. But one of the things that's unique about Jennifer is she is committed. She's one of those committed, focused women that I have ever coached. And that's what separates her from a lot of the other people I've coached. I've coached 12,000 clients, and Jennifer would be in the top 1/20th of 1% of the people I've coached. And she was committed. She was committed to learning the skills. She went to the events. She was able to receive my insight, and she was able to take my insight, and she took that into free enterprise. And then she created her own insight. I mean, she went beyond anything I coached her. She became focused and became a 7-figure income earner. It did not happen overnight, but I had the privilege of watching this in a 4-year period. Now, if she could do it, you could, but the difference between her and you would be her commitment versus your commitment. That's what you want to ask yourself. How committed am I? I'm going to be doing an event with Amanda Bobbitt October 5th in Seattle, Washington. Another one of the most committed women who's innovative and creative. She has a YouTube channel, has a network marketing business, creates arbitrage marketing. She sells products online. Just got back from a speaking engagement that I assisted her to land in New Zealand. I mean, this is a woman who's committed. She's a single mom of 2 children, and she's a very, very committed, exceptional businesswoman who's creative and innovative, and that's a key component. I mean, she understands how to create leads, convert leads. She understands the selling process. She has a system, a routine, and understands the mechanism of letting go. I was her coach for 2 years back in 2015 and 16, and I got to witness her really take her energy to the next level. And number 3, overthinking, processing, and checking out. Unfortunately, this affects a large percent of the society. That means indecision, doubt, worry, overwhelm, which a large percent of the population lives in. Number 4, avoidance and rebelling. Did you make your bed? No, I'm just going to get in it tonight. When you don't make your bed, even though it sounds what it sounds, if you don't make your bed, that means you avoided the first routine that you could have started today. Do you have a routine? Do you have a system? Do you have a method? Are you organized? Are you in alignment with what you say you want? Do you have a daily method that you operate in? Do you have dedicated blocks of time? Are you someone who's disciplined? If not, then you're undisciplined. And the more you understand the cause that creates the effect of why you do what you do, then you will let go of the events that shape your feelings so you can raise your consciousness, your understanding, your awareness. And are you developing the reflexes to be successful? Are you continuing to react? Are you learning how to respond to the situation, the stimulus at hand? And are you able to overcome your challenges and obstacles that other people or yourself are creating? When you say you're in your own way, what does that actually mean? Because, I mean, you look down, there's nothing in front of you. That's a metaphor for meaning you're avoiding and you're procrastinating. Why don't you decide? The brain and how it avoids pain. Now, this is a whole topic in itself. I could do this on a Saturday. The reason that most people don't decide, because it would change their whole story. If you're commitment phobic, being commitment conscious would change your whole identity, because your ego will tell you, oh my God, I have to be responsible. I'm not sure if I can be responsible tomorrow. That's correct. You can't be responsible tomorrow. You can only be responsible today. When you focus on today, today is today, today is now. And in that now state of awareness, you're coming through. You're able to transcend through the universe. People are beginning to feel you like this. And it's like altar call, hire me to be your coach. Let go of your anxiety about the money that you tell yourself you don't have, and it will mythically, magically appear. Let go of all these stories you tell yourself, and they show up. The parking space is available, not only tonight, it will always be there when you're in alignment with who you're capable of becoming. I'm not sure if the parking space will be there. I won't go to the restaurant tonight. I don't have the money to valet park. Well, no shit, dude. Just you have to go there first. But what most people do is they talk themselves out of an opportunity because they're not an opportunist, they're a skeptic. And when you're in anxiety, fear, and doubt, it'd be your responsibility to accept that you're skeptical about if you're good enough. That's what you're holding on to. It's not as the company good enough, not as the product, the service, the benefit. It's your own self-doubt created by a series of events that you hold on to, which incidentally, I am very skilled at assisting people to let go of this. I'd like to reach out to you, but I'm not sure if I could afford you. That's just another reason not to commit. That's what many people use to talk themselves out of hiring the right person or aligning themselves with the right situation or purchasing the opportunity to be in a business or a venture. That's what many people do. They use money as their metaphor to stay stuck. And then they wonder why they can't attract other prosperity seekers when they live in broke thoughts. When you're in broke thoughts, poverty consciousness, you'll attract your reality to the same situation to fulfill your same set of feelings. Words of uncertainty, guess, kinda, sort of. If you coach with me, I will clean your language style up in less than a month. You'll stop saying kinda, guess, and sorta. Guess is a word that the American populace inserts mid-sentence to telegraph their doubt. When you end a sentence with I don't know, you don't know. When you continue to say I don't know, you don't know. When you don't know, you don't have to make any decisions. That's why you're commitment conscious. The way you speak dictates your outcome. When you begin to change your language, when you change your words, you will change the law of your words. Your words are law. They don't return void. You're going to attract your reality exactly the way you communicate. When you communicate from lack, desperation, not good enough, addictions, poverty, lack, and all these other situations, that's what you're going to attract to yourself. I mean, this This becomes the science of attraction. It's deeper than the law. It's deeper than spirituality. It becomes neurochemical. You'll attract your reality, the situations that you continue to perpetuate. Emotions give off a corresponding response, meaning that when you're in anxiety, fear, and doubt, you'll attract predators, violators, perpetrators, people who can't commit to you, people who aren't going to be your life partners, your business partners, people who tell you what you want to hear and won't follow through on it. But when you're committed, you'll attract a higher level of commitment seekers and success seekers to your reality in a higher law of average. And when you start to understand that, that's when they show up. They show up when you show up. They don't show up unless you get lucky. And you better be good rather than luck, because luck is when opportunity meets preparation. But when you are good, when you're committed, you'll attract your reality at a much higher quality of frequency, the type of person that you and they deserve to partner with. And number 8, controlling the outcome by not deciding. Controlling the outcome by not deciding. That's what many people do. By not committing and not deciding, the certainty that is created is disappointment. That's what many people do. If I don't commit, I'll get a familiar outcome. I'll be disappointed. Now your ego will go, well, that's insane. And why would I want to do that? Because it's familiar. That's your identity. Anything other than that would contradict who you are. And last but not least, point number 9, learning to answer a question. Answer the question without a story. That's a skill. That's a real skill, is when someone asks you a question, answer it. Don't tell, you should answer the freaking question. That would be a skill set. Now, if you're on this Facebook Live today and you've considered, you haven't committed to that 20-minute coaching call, you haven't committed to hiring me, today's as good a day as any. Not next year when you have the money, not next whenever. It's been on my mind. You're on my bucket list. You're on my wish list. That's how many people communicate their non-commitment. For a free 20-minute coaching call, Facebook Live me or Jeff's, Jeffs, innercircle.com. A beautiful Tuesday afternoon Facebook Live. It's been my absolute privilege and pleasure to be here with you on this Tuesday, September 17th. I will be back in the field October 5th in Seattle, Washington, October 12th, one of my hometowns, Kansas City, Missouri. Tiffany Albertson, Kaylin Hobbs, Chris Berline, I want to thank you. I'll be coming to Kansas City to spend some quality time with you. And Tiffany Albertson's son, who is now my millionaire apprentice, Dylan Albertson, will be traveling with me. October 19th, I'll be in Los Angeles, California with Brittany Cara and Corey Blissett, and that event's going to be awesome. That is going to be at the Beverly Hills Hilton. That is correct. Landmark Hotel, Beverly Hills Hilton Hotel. A lot of history in that hotel. A lot of Oscar parties have been held in that hotel. A lot of secrets in history have gone in that hotel. I've stayed there a few times. It is magnificent. That is October 19th. October 26th, I will be in Boston, Massachusetts. Now, oftentimes I'm in Portsmouth, Massachusetts. This time I will be in Boston at the Logan Airport, hosted by the one and only Abby O'Neill. Abby is what you consider a rock star client. I've had the privilege of being Abby's coach for 4 years, mother of 3, and I believe soon to be 4. So, hey, Glenn, how are you today? Thank you for hiring me, Glenn. Honored to be your coach, Glenn. Glenn just hired me this Saturday in Chicago, Illinois, and Glenn actually committed and followed through on exactly what he said he would do. So Glenn gets high remarks from me for following through. I see Reiko. Reiko, good to see you. I know you're Sandy Girl's friend. Sandy Girl and I go back a long time. Done several events with Sandy in Spokane, Washington. So then where will I be later? And then in November, in the month of November, I will be on the 2nd. I will be in Saddlebrook, New Jersey. So looking forward to that event. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and let you go here on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Goodbye.